Welcome back, everybody. We are less than a month away from the 9/11 anniversary, and the debate over plans to build a mosque near Ground Zero is growing more intense by the day. Conservatives are turning up the volume against it.
Incredibly insensitive, and I think we have every reason to question the motivations of those who are attempting to do this.
Well, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid is the highest-ranking Democrat to come out against the plan.
I think that it's very obvious that the mosque should be built someplace else.
Well, meanwhile, the president says Muslims have the right to practice their religion as everyone else in this country, and that includes the right to build a place of worship and a community center on private property in Lower Manhattan. And we are joined this morning by Senator Sherrod Brown to talk about this and some other issues. Welcome, and
glad to be here.
Thank you for being with us so early in the morning. And I'm just going to jump right in. Are you for or against the mosque issue?
I think it's a local decision. We're not at war with religion. We're at war with terrorism. And I thought it was interesting. The first clip on your news story is Karl Rove, who is great at dividing the country and turning people against people. And the issue, I mean, this and the 14th Amendment and other things that conservatives that simply want the president to fail are using issues like this, the 14th Amendment, the mosque, to distract the public away from what we needed to be doing. That's passing a jobs bill, paying special focus on manufacturing, on what we need to. You know, we in Ohio know how to make things, and we ought to have a real manufacturing policy in this country.
You talk about manufacturing. Let's turn to unemployment right now. You have fought for extending benefits to people unemployed for about 2 years now. While companies are posting profits, they're still cutting jobs, especially manufacturing. The latest numbers show unemployment in Ohio is at 10.5%, but that's down from 11% in March. You're in Cleveland today for a few local events related to jobs. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm meeting with employees of a major company in Mentor. Then we're doing a roundtable with manufacturing. Ron Bloom is the president's chief advisor in manufacturing. You know, the jobs in this society, in this country, are created by small business. 2/3 of the new jobs. Large companies are sitting on huge cash reserves. Small businesses are looking for credit. One of the things that we're doing in this jobs bill that will pass in September, if we can get just 2 or 3 Republican votes, Chamber of Commerce supports it, all the small business groups support it, would be to help with the Small Business Administration, provide guaranteed loans for manufacturing companies. I mean, what takes us out of recession, leads us out of recession historically, is manufacturing. And as I said, we know how to make things in Ohio. 30 years ago, 30% of our GDP was manufacturing. Today, it's only about 12%. And we have a long way to go to begin again to make things rather than buying everything made in other countries.
Let's turn to healthcare very quickly. You just announced yesterday that Ohio is getting $1 million for help with insurance premiums. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I mean, it's clear as soon as the healthcare bill passed, the insurance companies who opposed the bill as they opposed the creation of Medicare 45 years ago, were going to game the system at least one last time if they could. And I met with an employer yesterday in Youngstown who said literally right after the bill was signed, he got a bill from his insurance company raising an annual cost significantly that the company was paying. So this will begin to help stop the insurance companies from gaming the system. We need to do a lot of things, for instance, paying doctors based on outcomes, not based on every procedure they do. We need to do a lot to restrain health care costs. One of the things, though, is reining in the insurance companies who have had a history of gaming the health care system at the expense of small business, at the expense of taxpayers, and at the expense of their customers.
What about unemployment benefits? Would you consider extending those again?
Yeah, I'm very concerned about the so-called 99ers. There was a good story in the Plain Dealer by Oliver Perkins recently about these people that haven't been able to find jobs literally for 99 weeks, and they can't get unemployment. These are people that, you know, many of them have worked for 20, 25 years. They're not slackers. They want to work. They can't find jobs. We've got to give them a bridge until they can find a job, but our focus has to be on creating jobs so unemployment extension is not nearly as significant an issue.
Do you care to make any predictions on the upcoming midterm elections here?
Yeah, I think that the question is it a referendum on Democrats? If it is, the people are unhappy because the country's in bad shape and the Democrats are in control. Or is it a contrast between, you know, what Republicans have done in the past and are proposing in the future? Not just the Bush years, but they're saying basically the same thing for the future that they would do, contrasted with what Democrats are trying to do. And I think if the voters look at a contrast, what Republicans stand for, what Democrats stand for, it'll be a pretty decent year for Democrats then.
Okay, Senator Sherrod Brown, thank you so much for waking up and being with us and talking to our viewers this morning.